This is the factoring basics review. First step of factoring, and it's always the first step, is you want to factor out a monomial, which just means to factor out what they have in common first. Like here, you look at these, you just want to ask yourself, what can I divide all of them by? Very important. That's all factoring is. It's what can I divide all of them by. It has to be all of them. In this case, I would say they both divide by 5. They're both divisible by 5, and they both have an x. We're going to get that 5x and put it on the outside. We divide each of them by the 5x. 35 divided by 5 is 7. X squared divided by x is x. Minus 15 divided by 5 is 3, and the x's cancel out. So there you go. And as always with factoring, the good thing about it, if you want, you can always check your work. Distribute. See if you get the same thing back. And then negative 15x. Yes, it does work. That is our answer. That's factoring. Look at them and go, what can I divide all of them by? And try to do that. This next one will go a little faster. If you look at them, they all divide by 3. And they all have an a. Put a 3a on the outside. And then we're just going to divide all of them by 3a. Now you don't have to actually show this work most of the time. You just do it in your head. And you should get b minus 2c plus 3a minus 4z. And there we go. You factored out 3a from all of these. You just pull it out and then divide each one of them by that. Now, it doesn't have to be a monomial. I mean, you do want to pull out what they have all in common, but that thing you factor out does not have to be a monomial. Like in this case, these all have an n minus 3 in common, but the exact same concept. We're going to factor out an n minus 3, and then we just divide all of these by n minus 3. These cancel, and then put m squared on that one. These cancel, I get plus m. And here's the important one, a lot of people mess this one up. These cancel, it doesn't go away, it's a 1. When you divide like 2 by 2, you get 1 with minus 1 out there. And you just factor out an n minus 3 from all of these. That's the basic factoring. That's always step 1. You always want to factor out a monomial. Then we get to the next step, type of factoring. That's when there's 4 things that don't all share the same thing in common. Most of the time, what you want to do is factor by grouping. When we group, we're going to group the first 2 and the last 2 most of the time. You might have to rearrange it. And then you're just going to factor each one of these separately. The one right here, these all have, these both divide by 3, and they all have a p squared. Factor out a 3p squared from all of them. And again, we're just going to divide this by 3p squared. So you get 4p, because there was 3p's, we took out 2 of them. Then right here, we divide by 3p squared. 21 divided by 3 is negative 7. Very important to have the negative. And then you got rid of all the p's. Now, when you factor by grouping, very, very important, you bring down the middle sign every single time. Whatever it is, you have to bring it down. Now, these two have a 7 in common. And we're just going to divide all these by 7. 28 divided by 7 is 4p. Negative 49 divided by 7 is 7. And then you get down here, and honestly, all you're doing here is the same thing we did right here. You're like, oh, what do they all have in common? And then minus 3, and you factor it out. Same thing here. Do they have anything in common? Yeah. They all have a 4p minus 7. Factor it out. You get 4p minus 7. And then what's left over when you pull it out? 3p squared plus 7. Then you just factor by grouping. So I'm going to do another one real quick. Same idea here. I'm going to go a little faster. These have a 4b squared in common. Divide all by 4b squared. You get b minus 3. This divided by 4b squared. 4's cancel out. You just get a b. Always, always, always bring down the middle sign. That's why I'm doing this one. Over here, they have a 5 in common. Put a 5 on the outside. And here's the important part. We'll show the steps on this one. Now, keep in mind, when you factor, you divide by this. And this is a negative 5. I'm going to divide negative 5b by negative 5. And I get a positive b. And then right here, everybody messes this one up. You're dividing that positive 15 by negative 5. You should get a negative 3. Because again, you're dividing by what's out here in front. Now look at, hey, they match again. Factor out the b minus 3. And you're left with 4b squared minus 5. Okay, next one, there's a reason I'm showing this one. Same concept though, we're going to do the first 2, last 2. These have an 8r squared in common. Divide all by 8r squared. I get r minus 8. Always, always, always bring down the middle sign. Now here's what gets a little tricky, that's why I want to do this one. R minus 8, they have nothing in common. When you have nothing in common, you could always factor out a 1. Put a 1 on the outside, and then we're going to leave. Then you just divide by 1, which is just r minus 8. Nothing changes. Anytime they have nothing in common, you can always factor out a 1. And now look at these match still. Factor that out. R minus 8. Put it gone. What's left over? 8r squared plus 1. And that's the lesson.